Hey, Muffin here. Huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Anyone that would like to support moving forward, please go ahead, links below. And thank you so much, Garen, for helping put together today's subscriber request, which is on the KV series versus the AMX series, to do a showdown to see which one will come out on top and which one is better. You guys will have to let me know which one you prefer in the comments below, which one you think is better in your opinion. But we're gonna do best out of 3, and I wanna also thank the awesome subscribers for joining the rooms that we do. Everyone's more than welcome to join. Just join the Discord, get the movie crew roll to get the announcement so you know when we put these rooms together. So there are some pretty significant differences between these two series of tanks. In the past, we've done VK versus IS series. I think E series there's a whole bunch of different series of tanks that we've done against each other, and it's been quite interesting. And a lot of the series of tanks have a lot of common denominators across their type of whichever tank they are. So in this showdown, the KV type of tanks only go, I think, from tiers 5 from the KV1 up to tier 8. And when doing these challenges, we try to make sure that it's balanced. The thing with the AMX series is it goes all the way up to tier 10. So to make this fight fair, we included just tanks from basically tiers 5 through 8, just so that it was fair. The KV series tanks are typically very well known for their armor. Like I said, you have the KV1, KV2, which doesn't have a lot of armor, but you also have the KV1S, you have the KV3, the KV4, the KV5, and a lot of those are well known for their armor, and not so much for their mobility, and sometimes not having the greatest of accuracy as well. So where the KV series tanks shine is really with their armor. However, the AMX series is almost completely the opposite. They're typically very lightly armored vehicles. They have much better mobility. Their cannons are typically more accurate, and they're more famously known for their auto-loading capabilities. And so, except the AMX M4 49, the tier 8 French heavy, which is actually a fairly well armored tier 8 French heavy tank. All right, so in that, the AMX did win. So we have the score of AMX 1 and KV 0. Second map, Vineyards. The KV tanks also don't have a lot of gun depression, so playing much more on flatter ground is going to be where they'll be a little bit more effective, whereas the AMX tanks typically do have a little bit better gun depression. So we can see here the KV tanks are pushing town, the AMX tanks are going more hills, so really trying to use the terrain to their advantage from both sides. Now, even though the KV series does have some pretty thick armor, unfortunately it is very flat. making it a little easier to penetrate. Having to rely much more on side scraping within very flat and town settings. One of the other disadvantages that the KV series has against the AMX series is the KV series has no medium or light tanks, unlike the AMX series. So spotting the enemies is a bit more of a challenge for those on the KV team. Ooh, close shot there on the KV-5, really quickly making its way across. Now, with the KV series having only heavy tanks, they do have more hit points. So the AMX series is going to have to try and burn through a lot more of that. Oh, very close shot on that AMX M4. KV series took quite a hit at the beginning of this match, losing some hit points, but they may be making somewhat of a comeback here, but the mobility of the AMX is really putting him in a bad position. Well, it looks like the AMX series does have this one. We're going to find out here in the last round. Oh, close shot. Just gotta hate that sometimes when you're aimed in on a light or a medium tank flying at you, and right as you think you've got a good shot, you take that shot and they just happen to turn at that right moment. So in this last round, we're going to find out if this is going to be a complete annihilation of the KV series when put against the AMX, or if the KV series can make a comeback. So once again, the AMX series going out and taking dunes, which is an excellent position for them to be in, and the KV series taking more of the town, the flatter ground. Already getting detected. Once again, that view range making things a bit difficult for the KV series. Putting some of that armor to use, getting some bounces. Ooh, KV4 just trying to get across. Wasn't able to quite escape that shot from the CDC. Which, by the way, if you didn't know this, fun fact, the CDC's view range is, I believe, the same as the Tiger II heavy tank's view range. So the KV tanks really trying to protect themselves as much as they can. And I can imagine for them it's a bit fighting blind with where they're getting shot from. And those little weak points, even though they do have strong armor, is not helping the KV series out too much. For me personally, I'm much bigger of a fan of better mobility rather than armor. So that's just my personal preference. Yeah, sometimes I don't have a lot of luck on those HE shots too. I feel like half of the time my HE shots are either hitting the track or the enemy's gun. It's very hard for me sometimes to rely on my HE shells, and sometimes I've reverted to just shooting the standard AP rounds. Things looking pretty good for the KV team, playing this town setting really well and pulling in some of these AMX tanks, putting them in a pretty bad position. Ooh. Some pretty bad hits on the CDC, trying to get away. Only down to 3 AMX tanks left. Uh-oh. And just got caught on the side of that hill, unfortunately. I think the rest of these AMX tanks running around trying to spread out the KV tanks. A good tactic, especially if you're really outnumbered, trying to spread them out, use that view range, get undetected, and then flank and take those shots on the enemy. And that is it. So the KV series able to make a comeback. Well done. Hope you guys enjoyed this vid. This is the Muffin here. You guys stay cool and keep tanking.